Hello, and thank you for joining today's webinar. My name is David Johnson, and as an analyst at Forrester, my goal is to help companies create places where people will choose to do their best work to win, serve, and retain customers. So I study the relationship between customer experience and employee experience and technology, which for us is one part technology and one part organizational psychology, specifically the psychology of high performance. What I'm going to share with you today are the results of a study that Forrester did on behalf of Dell. And while it was a paid study, we apply the same rigorous independent methodologies that we use for any of our research. We learned a lot in the study, and I'm excited to share our findings with you today. And this is the third in a three-part series as well. As a firm, Forrester has been involved in customer experience research for more than a decade, and we've been involved in technology research for much longer than that. And so we have an excellent understanding of how customer experience relates to financial performance, for example, and what drives customer experience, positive customer experience and negative for organizations all over the world. And from the research, we've learned that one of the things that sets customer experience leaders apart from the rest and is how they view the employee experience as a core part of their strategy. And that percolates through everything that they do, from workforce technology to culture to a wide range of things, and how they manage people. And they're all related. And also, as part of this research on the employee experience side, in addition to customer experience, we're also looking at the employee experience, which is where the employee-facing technology pieces come in. We're also working closely with leading scientists all over the world who study behavior and motivation in the workplace extensively. And one of the most important findings in this comes from Dr. Teresa Amabile at the Harvard Business School. What she discovered is that conventional wisdom about what makes people happy at work is precisely wrong. In survey after survey, managers across hundreds of organizations ranked recognition for work well done, more money, pay for performance, important work, and good coworkers as the most important things. But her research proved they're actually not the most important things. All those things are important. Nobody would disagree with that. But what's most important for a positive employee experience is being able to make progress every day toward work that they know is important. In other words, getting things done. When we have a productive day at work, we're the most satisfied and we feel the best about ourselves and our job. And so what that means for technology strategy is in creating a positive employee experience means clearing the way for helping employees get more done, removing things that stand in the way of that, or getting rid of what we might call undifferentiated heavy lifting. You know, the PC lifecycle management process for many companies fits in that category because a lot of those activities are not geared toward creating the best possible employee experience. As a matter of fact, they interfere quite often with employees' productivity and being able to get things done. So with that understanding, it helps to create a lens through which to look at everything else. So if we agree that, first of all, the customer experience and financial performance are closely related. The companies who outperform in our customer experience index are also the ones that have the fastest growing revenue. And so customer experience and financial performance are related. Employee experience and customer experience are also closely related because whether or not to do the work necessary to win, serve, and retain customers and do their best to win, serve, and retain customers is a decision that employees have to make every day, and it's often several times a day that they do that. So employee experience is critically important. And the world over, when we look at our survey data, both Forrester surveys as well as this survey that was done for Dell, improving customer experience remains the top business priority. And it's true in the Asia-Pacific and Japan region. It's true in Europe. It's true in North America. In this case, in the study, we're looking at Asia-Pacific and Japan. But what's unfortunate, though, is even though everyone recognizes that that's most important, what they have not realized yet is how important better addressing employee needs are to create a better customer experience. And in fact, when we look at our customer experience data, and interview those companies that have made the most gains in customer experience or are at the top of the charts already in customer experience, they already hold employee-facing technology investments or improving employee experience and as in an equal or higher priority to customer experience. So if you want to make gains in improving customer experience and financial performance, the point of this slide is to invest in better in addressing the needs of employees, and that will likely differentiate you from others. And when we look at the data about what employees are actually doing, right, we see adaptive behavior. When we look at the workforce data, this is Forrester survey data, about 43% of primary work laptops were paid for out of the employee's own pocket, and that's up about 4% from 2015. Why do they do it? More than half said that they prefer owning and controlling their own work computer. They want to have more of a say in what that device looks like, what form factor it takes, but also the software that they use and how it's configured. They want to have more influence over that than they currently do with their companies, and that's significant. And when we look at the data as well, we asked both IT leaders as well as business leaders in this data, and there's a huge perception gap here. We asked them, if an employee has to use a different type of device or an application that's not already part of your company's approved device or application list, how long do you estimate it would take for the request to be fulfilled? And the thing that came out on top for both devices and applications, first of all, they say that we don't, business leaders are more likely to say that they don't grant employee requests for non-standard devices. And the same thing for applications. More than half of business leaders said that they don't, that their IT organization won't grant non-standard requests from employees for applications. But their IT leaders say that they do. Only 2% said that they don't for devices and 5% for applications. Clearly, there's a huge disconnect here between business leader perceptions of IT and IT's perceptions of themselves. And that's important. Closing that gap is critical. And one of the reasons for that, we found in the study, is that generally speaking, IT leaders are more focused on reacting to situations than they are on proactively enabling employees and removing some of the factors that are standing in the way. So, for example, IT leaders said that in order to improve your experience with employee end-user computing in your organization, how much do you agree with the following statements? The top thing was we have to reduce the time it takes to resolve IT support issues. We would argue, Forrester would argue, that what's more important is doing some other things that will eventually lead to that. So instead of reacting, being more proactive and refreshing devices more frequently, for example, or improving employee self-service capabilities. And in fact, when we run employee satisfaction surveys for some of our clients, things that improve employee self-service and self-sufficiency result in some of the greatest gains in employee satisfaction. So doing more, the point of this slide is doing more of what you've been doing is not necessarily the right approach. Looking at doing things differently and being more proactive and focusing on those areas is likely a better approach. But IT leaders are also very perceptive, and they also are right about why employees are doing what they're doing. They know that if the things that are driving the demand of new device technology in their organization is a better user experience, they know that that's what employees are after, and it's also preferred by employees. It's either faster, it offers more battery life, or is a better form factor. And that's right. It's employee perception and employee needs that are really driving that demand. But also they know that it's easier to support typically, lower TCO as well. But we're also finding that PC lifecycle costs for most companies are increasing and that this is a major concern for them. So we asked, which of the following challenges are you currently experiencing regarding the PC lifecycle and its management in your organization? And increasing costs, more than half, it's well over half at 62%. Large number of vendor relationships to manage is also a pain point, and also downward pressure on PC budgets. But again, though, what IT leaders want to do about it won't necessarily solve the problem. So what they want to do is invest in improving our existing PC management tools and approach, again, more the same, and then also recruiting new IT staff for PC lifecycle management, adding more headcount to it. That won't necessarily solve the problem or be as effective as other approaches. So, for example, Forrester would argue that streamlining or eliminating steps in the PC lifecycle would be a huge benefit, and particularly with new versions of operating systems coming out now and better management capabilities, that's more possible now than it has been before. And also, we would say that partnering with a company who specializes in PC deployment and management can help you get rid of a lot of the undifferentiated heavy lifting that you're currently facing, and remove some of the things that are problematic and standing in the way for employee productivity as well. You're very likely to get a faster time to value for employees, for example. So being able to drop ship a PC directly from the manufacturing floor to the employee and having the final configuration being done automatically is more possible now than it was before. And a partner can help you do that better, typically, than your internal people can. So our recommendations from this part of the study are to go against conventional wisdom and don't invest in more in-house PC lifecycle management skills. Instead, invest in better employee self-service and helping employees become more self-sufficient. It's going to create a better employee experience overall. And again, better employee experience leads to better customer experience, which leads to better financial performance and outcomes. Partner with vendors who can help you automate the PC lifecycle and do it for you from factory to employee direct. And reducing the PC refresh cycle will help you generate more value from it as well. So if you can shorten that time, you'll get better hardware out there faster, more secure hardware out there faster, and you'll also get the latest versions of the operating systems as well and better manageability, so you can improve and streamline that life cycle faster. To find out more about the rest of the study and the other two segments that went along with this, just contact your Dell rep for a copy of the study. And also, as always, feel free to reach out to me as well if you have other questions. And I'm always happy to answer questions as I can.